that must be seen as the beacon of hope by even those that have never went to school, to say, I still have value to add. And that goes beyond the lecture room, going to where people are. And as I said, Banbizu babes were internet. Mine is to say, how do we use internet to give people education? That is why you heard me, and I know most professors are not happy, saying that we are partnering with Coursera, an online platform. Some innovators that saw an opportunity, there's lots of universities in South Africa, I'm making an example, these ones are in America. There's lots of universities, but we're still saying other children can't access education because we take up to a particular number and criterion and all the things that we're talking about. And then they said theirs is to make sure that they give access for free to all utilizing internet. Universities came jumping in the American platform, Coursera, Oxford, all of them. We have, even in South Africa, UCT is part of those, availing the educational content that's being offered when you're in Cape Town to people in Kenya to enroll, because education. One thing about the fourth industrial revolution, once more, it requires us to build global citizens. You see what Zimbabweans have done? You see what most of the Nigerians have done? If you go to our countries and departments, who are the people in charge of the finances? It's about prioritizing that education and skilling to your nation so that they can be a resource to the other countries if you can't employ them or if conditions do not allow in your own area. We said, Premier, boldly, we know that we're going to be attacked. We like one thing, that from the school of thought that we come from, text don't kill us. And we know that it is a norm in the country and everywhere in the world that when we make changes, people don't see it because they're still comfortable. And as I said, ours is to make people uncomfortable. So I spoke of the collabs that we have. I mentioned CUT. I thought we were going to be joined by the director that we have there, but unfortunately I'm told they're still in the process of recruitment because they released the previous one. Here in CUT Premier, we are paying for students who are studying robotics. We are paying. And I want to tell you about the sad story of those collabs, that every time when we want the stats and all that, our people are not there. They just go do the basic computer literacy skills, whilst we're offering advanced courses. And these are the collabs that I'm talking about. They are all housed in universities. So these are the ones that are going to be accredited by Coursera to offer the skills online. I want to tell you right now, to enroll on a course with Coursera, they charge you $48 monthly. Then if it's 3 years, 4 years, and then you pay, you can multiply. We have negotiated with them because they want to prove a case that we're capable here. It's just that we don't have access to educational offers. We negotiated with them to say, can you offer it at $100 a year if we bring majority, big numbers, starting with our government employees, starting with the grannies that are doing the sishweshwe there that needs digital skilling, starting with the young people who are busy in bricklaying, and we're saying it's high time that we introduce 3D so that they can produce 3D bricks and we can build the technologies that we're talking about and other things that are out there. As I talk about the services that we render in the post office, to say, how do we disrupt the system that you complain of 5 days that you're waiting for your parcel, and make sure that we introduce drone deliveries, take the parcel from the post office to be delivered on your doorstep using the drone. That's why we're offering drone piloting and programming, and people are not happy. And as I said, unfortunately, I got hired to make people unhappy. I got hired to make unions unhappy because I have to encourage government, citizens, and business to use technologies. That's my job. Minister Ncese has a responsibility over employment. It's his job to see what he does with my people that are retrenched from the technologies. But as a member of a caring government, we said first things first. Let's make sure that as we introduce and encourage people to use these technologies, there's going to be skills that are provided, both for employed and unemployed. which is why we introduced these learning centers that I'm talking about. I said next year we're going to have a team that's enrolling on the applications have been called. So those that are interested, and this does not mean you leave your university course that you are doing. We offer courses online. We understand that people are busy, but at the same time, we understand that we need to have proactive citizens, be it workers or students. On your spare time, 2 hours, you're able to go through your course, do whatever you do, and then when the time for block sessions, you go and sit. We pay for those pauses. As I'm saying, by the time you graduate, those that are students, by the time you graduate here, most of you will not have jobs. That's why they should do that. The truth that we must tell, without scaring you, but preparing you to say, now ngwanana, mara, there's going to come a stage where you have to be mona to somebody. Therefore, this is the right process for you to be a responsible man or husband towards that person. We're training you whilst you're a boy, whilst you're still young, to say, go, study, whatever you're studying, but you also need these digital skills that will be related to your studies if you want to keep your line of studying in the same area. I said, people are not happy, especially academia. I know Minister Higher Education has came under attack that he must talk to me. I told Minister yesterday, Minister, unfortunately, I would fail in my job if I don't show people the benefits of having internet. That I'm saying, government, connect these people. I'm not providing connectivity for people to gossip. I'm providing connectivity for people to change their social and economic status. To say, as a mother, or a woman who's here at Tabanju, busy making those sishweshwe, what market can I get in the Eastern Cape? And how do I go? Because I can't afford, I don't even know where Eastern Cape is. And of course, we give you digital marketing skills, and then we come and say, Tunga mama, keep on sewing. We take a picture, we post this like we do on social media, we open a business format or a Facebook page, and then I order the sishweshwe, seated at home, mtata, and then of course, Uma, when she's done with my sishweshwe, she takes it, she hires a local guy around who has a buggy or a taxi to take it to the post office. I'm responsible for it, so you can't take it to other courier services. She takes it to the post office, and from my post office, it gets to be delivered in your post office, and from the post office, the drones come and deliver it in your house. Who would have thought that we can do business with people that we have never seen? And the internet presents us with that opportunity. We shouldn't be scared of it. We shouldn't be scared about the fourth industrial revolution. Ours is to understand these things that we call threats and say, how do we overcome these threats? Because we know our challenges better. When the investors come here with their artificial intelligence and everything machine, we tell them, we don't understand your language, which means there's space for people to study languages and be able to help program the machines. Whilst the fourth industrial revolution closes other jobs, but it creates new jobs in the other space. When Standard Bank says we're retrenching tellers, there are software engineers that got an opportunity. There are graphic designers, there are language people who got jobs, and everything that goes with it, as you see when you go to the ATM. All we have to do is to understand our space and empower ourselves. As I said earlier, not even politicians are safe. BGM wanting to be councillors. Don't bother wanting to go to parliament fighting each other. The robots are here. I've had people in San Francisco who were saying, where we first saw the first robot contesting elections, they were saying they are tired of us, politicians, because we make lots of commitments before elections. And then after elections, we don't deliver. The robot is going to be told, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5th day of the month, this is what you do. The robot is going to do that on the 5th day of the month. This day, and then they were saying, we want a robot, it's going to do what we want it to do. We're going to program it, and then it's going to do it. But as much as I'm saying politicians will be replaced, a robot will never think like a politician. So we'll have to help program it, even if it's there, but it must be us that are guiding the direction and the agenda, which is what these technologies require. us understanding our terrain, and therefore even if I introduce Hello Tractor, I heard about a smart farm here. I don't know if they're using Hello Tractor or what. Hello Tractor is those auto, or we call them driverless tractors or whatever. And even them, they can't think on their own. They need a person to help them think. And therefore, we will never be replaced if we get the right skills. If we are in the agricultural sector, how do we make sure that as we deploy technologies, we know what is it that we want to achieve in the space? We don't have to go to the farms anymore. We can farm staying in our own suburbs, going to the office to watch the progress made by the seeds and everything that's been done, deploy our drones to do whatever, and then the harvest whatever, and then it comes home, and then we sell online. And when we sell, we don't go to Standard Bank because there are mobile money platforms. M-Pesa, again, making the banking sector uncomfortable. And they are not happy. They are resisting it. And that's why when we talk about the deployment of blockchain, they separate cryptocurrency from that. And cryptocurrency is another component of the blockchain technologies. And we're going to introduce blockchain technologies because where we see that technologies are opening up space for people to be innovative, it is our responsibility to do that. But as I said, we need to be responsive as governments that make laws so that we don't end up in court. South Africa is a highly litigious country. So we need to close and make sure that our regulations and laws do not prohibit innovation because our country will not grow in terms of the economy. And the startups and entrepreneurs that we're talking about will not have an opportunity. The only way to change the economic status in South Africa is through investment in entrepreneurship. And the entrepreneurs, I mean real entrepreneurs, not people, you see those ones? I have an entity called SETA. You know about it? SETA is an IT company of government. I asked to see the list of the SMEs that have been given business. I'm like, what kind of business you are doing? Here we're selling Microsoft products. That's all they do. They resell. And I'm like, watch what's happening between America and China as I'm speaking to you. What if it happens to us? America says, maybe we say something that they don't like. They say all our companies must back off from Africa. We can't even pay our salaries in this country because most of the software and everything that we're using, including technologies, is not produced here at home. So we are saying we want to remodel SETA to build the kind of entrepreneurs that must provide solutions. Because it is not because South Africans are not innovative. They are. That's why they leave and go to Silicon Valley, because government has not created a conducive environment. And that is what we must be fired for. Let's lose our jobs for trying to create a conducive environment for South Africans to participate in the economy that we're talking about, and let South Africans solve their problems whilst they're part of the globe. As I continue saying, let South Africans solve their challenges, I appreciate the strengths and the capabilities of other countries, which is why I say when they come to deploy or to invest in our country, let's identify our own nature, South Africa, not to continue just to be liberal. It can't continue. This is why we'll be introducing the digital industrial strategy that will be forcing most of the companies to comply in saying there are these components that South Africa has the capability of, and therefore we want to invest in them. And as you deploy your infrastructure, you utilize these capabilities. And we would have given an opportunity to SMMEs. We would have given an opportunity to people to get jobs if we do it like that. But most importantly, we would have also helped the investors to save costs from bringing things from their countries and other countries. But getting things right here at home, and therefore growing the economy. Because if our people continue to be excluded in the economy, they're going to rise against us. And when they rise against us, they ban properties. You've seen it. They ban properties, which means it's going to affect the investors' investment. And we do not want to see that happening. We have a responsibility to protect the investments by the investors that we invited to our country. And we have the same responsibility to empower our people to be part of the economy, not to be spectators. teachers. It can be not in our time. Those that came before us, they did their part. We have political freedom. Me and you at our own ages and young ones, we have a responsibility to deliver the economic freedom. Nobody else is going to do it for us. The only way to do it is to do what Abo Mamu Winnie did and about Datu Mandela. They studied the system. They did not stay away from it. They studied the system, they became part of it, and then they said, how do we beat it? Because they know it. It is up to us to make sure that we acquire much knowledge and education with skills in order to change this. With the rhetoric, we're not going to change anything. We'll continue, hey, economic freedom in our lifetime, yeah. But it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere. We have a responsibility to provide action, as Prof put there, the last stage. Action that is responsible, not irresponsible actions. Action that's responsible, that is appreciative of the political environment and at the same time the economic environment. As I said, I may be emphasizing the role of South Africans in the economy and everything that we produce, but I'm not doing that at the expense of foreign investors because we need them. Let's make no mistake. We need them as much as they need us. But how strategic we can be is up to us. I said right now, I want to leave you with it, what you do with it. Right now, the big economies are fighting. We are the only ones with minerals in Africa. We have a choice to dictate the terms. Do we understand what we have? As much as we can process for now, and have the will to invest in that matters, that everybody wants, and they're going to come back and sell it with us. And that means we have to collaborate with the big economies. But let's also benefit and not experience what happened in the second industrial revolution. Ladies and gentlemen, I told you they call me Babes from Gosi. So one of the key things that we'll be doing, Premier, I spoke about the 3D printing. We're going to come again. We're going to open a Cisco Edge Center, which is an innovation center. You will tell us where we put that in order to encourage innovators. In order to encourage innovators to innovate there, we've taken a conscious decision that we're going to work with the Department of Science and Innovation. All the innovations that are coming out of higher education, the universities and the Innovation Center, then we have a responsibility to commercialize them as the department responsible for digital technologies. I still hear people who still want to say, I'm Minister of Telecoms. I always tell them, I take serious offense, guys. I'm the future Minister of Digital Technologies. It doesn't matter if it's your smart meter. It doesn't matter if it's your energy meter. I'm Minister of Electronics. Therefore, whether you are a Minister of Mining, you are a Minister of Agriculture or Transport, I'm your minister because you use my technologies. But my ministry will not be successful if people are not leveraging on that. Which is why it's important to understand the environment that we operate in and work together to empower each other. Commissioner mentioned that they released the draft report on the Presidential Commission in terms of the blueprint of the 4IR. We're going to have provincial roadshows to engage with stakeholders, and come February we're adopting it in Cabinet, and that's what we will be implementing. From national to local, that's why we're doing provincial roadshows, so that provinces and locals can make their inputs. And therefore, as we talk about the Khawuleza model or the district development model, that's what government will be implementing. The 4IR Commission is not a commission that's looking at ICTs. It cuts across. We have energy experts, mining experts, agriculture, scientists, and all that, because that's what 4IR is about. It's not about technologies. It's about people. That's the stance we have decided to take in South Africa. We're the only country. That's why the world is looking at us to say, we want to see this model of the Fourth Industrial Revolution Commission, this approach South Africa has taken. Because if you go to Japan, it's society 5.0. If you go to others, it's industry 4.0. So they've come, but we have said, ours is to lead the Fourth Industrial Revolution, whatever they term in their countries, and then ours is to be looking at the entire ecosystem, the people and the technology, but most importantly, how does the technology help the person make his or her life to be better? Ladies and gentlemen, the ANC government loves you so much. Until we meet again.
Thank you very much. This was a passionate address, passionate talk. You must have been internally mobilized to work hard for the next 2 days to ensure that we can make our contribution as the Free State. So as I opened, I'm just back again just to give the Minister of a token of appreciation here. We normally don't open presents, but this is a trophy made out of the 3D printing from the University, Central University of Technology for this Free State 4th Industrial Revolution. And it is a token of appreciation that you want to say. Okay, all right. You cannot still stay here because we want to move to open exhibitions. So, before I hand over to Simphiwe Mdlalose again to give us directives, because I said I'm just the Chief Conference Director, so my responsibility is just to come and reorganize us again. We've been sitting here for some time now, and the intention was that we needed to be engaging now, but I think the morning session has given us a very clear picture of what we want to achieve. The presentation by Professor Henk de Jager, and we want to appreciate the partnership that we have with the University, Central University of Technology, and also Professor Chris Adendorf, who has also made a presentation here as one of the commissioners of the Presidential Commission on the 4th Industrial Revolution, have made it basically easier to give us that demonstration and give the minister the opportunity to talk to you from the heart. And then we had Professor Dion Bier. I was looking for him to say whether he cannot reshape me with the work that they are doing at the Central University of Technology. He has agreed that he will do something about it, but it was a very inspiring presentation, but also thought-provoking presentation with regard to the work that has already started on the 4th Industrial Revolution, and not just a talk from the Center for Rapid Prototyping and Manufacturing at the Central University of Technology. Our MEC, Khadija Brown, for introducing the Premier, but also presiding over the commitments that the companies have made here. Our Honorable Premier, also talking from the heart. We normally try to prepare speeches, and then as she comes here, as she talks to you, and wants to talk to a person, talk to the inner you in terms of what she wants to achieve in terms of this particular summit, the 4IR summit, and I'm sure that she has been able to persuade you and indicate to you that she's taken cue from the President, the work that the Minister is doing, and that we are now taking it down here into the Free State, ensure that we are part of the revolution that is happening in South Africa. As I've indicated, and also having presented a token of appreciation to Minister Stella Ndabeni-Abrahams, we appreciate the efforts that you have made to be here. You know, we were saying we are going on with the conference, we're not going on, we'll see this sometimes next year in March and so on. So as we communicated with your office, we were also sending some signals as if we might change time, but out of your busy schedule, you still created an opportunity to ensure that you are here with us, and we appreciate that. Our MECs who are here, Premier has paraded them here, indicated the work that she is doing with them in their various areas. All people that will be leading the academics and facilitators of our sessions, we are already thanking you in advance. Tomorrow, as we consolidate the work again in plenary, we will indicate further how we are going to move. But I want to request the exhibitors who are here also listening to the presentations to start moving out. Exhibitors, not everybody else, because you are still going to get announcements. So we request the exhibitors to go to their stalls so that we allow the minister and the premier to cut the ribbon and open the exhibitions for us. That will give us an opportunity to visit the exhibitions at our leisure as we disperse from our commissions. We will get the opportunity to visit those exhibitions, but they have to be officially opened now by the Premier and the Minister, and I would request the MECs to accompany the Minister. So as I say so, I humbly request the Premier and the MECs just to step again back this way. The Minister is already at the right place. She will just move out to go and cut the ribbon for the exhibition. As I indicated, as the Director General, my responsibility is to continue to refocus the conference, but our Program Director is Simphiwe Mdlalose here, who's doing an excellent job. Over to you again as I walk the Minister out. Thank you, Simphiwe.
Thank you so much, DG. I just want to congratulate you, beautiful people of Free State, for being patient. And secondly, to congratulate you that you have helped me to achieve what I wished to achieve, that we trend. So please give yourself a warm round of applause. We are trending. Now, you'll ask, why is it important for us to trend? It's important for the world to know what's taking place in this place, especially because we're talking 4IR. One of the things that was not mentioned earlier was that the commission, the Presidential Commission on 4IR, is preparing to give its report back to the President end of March next year. Now, one of the things that will then be taking place all over the country are these consultative forums. So you might not be aware that you are part of the first of the consultative forums that are taking all over the country. So well done to you, Free State. Secondly, let me just make this request. We're going to break for lunch now. Then at exactly 2:45, we will then go to our breakaway sessions. This is how it's going to happen. In this very room, if you are interested in a commission that will look at harnessing a culture of innovation in the 4IR era, please come back to this room. Harnessing a culture of innovation in the 4IR era. There's about 5 speakers that have been lined up for you. Please come back to this room. But if your interest is in the future of mining and circular economy, please go to, on my left, there's a passage, there's a breakaway room there. It's well marked. You will see where we're going to be meeting. That commission will start at exactly 2:45 here and that side. At 4 o'clock, so at 2:45, we're gonna come back for the session. And at 3:45, at 3:45, we will then break for 15 minutes, which is just a short, relaxing break. At 4 o'clock, the second break will start. In this room, the session that will start is a session on youth and digital economy. The youth and the digital economy will be here at 4 o'clock. On the other side, the session that will be there is a session on agriculture and agro-allied industries in the 4IR era. So we are breaking now until 2:45. 2:45, the first session starts until 4:45. At 4 o'clock, we take a very short comfort break on both sessions. And then at 4 o'clock, we start the last sessions of the day, which will last until 5 o'clock. So at 5 o'clock, we still plan to break. Thank you so much. You've been a wonderful audience, and have a wonderful lunch.